So, when you found out you were going to do Robin, what was your reaction when you first heard you were going to get to voice this character?
Well, I was really excited because I was a fanatic about the show in the 60s. I was a really little kid, and I was obsessed with that show. And as you probably remember or know, it played on a Tuesday and Wednesday. And so Tuesday there was always a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I was convinced that, oh, they're going to die. They're going to die. I got to watch Wednesday. And they would come back Wednesday. And so, yeah, I was very excited about that. And when I developed the voice of Robin for my audition, of course, I was totally influenced by the memory of Burt Ward. So that was where I started, and then I made it my own and my own original sound.
And what was one of your more challenging Robin episodes for you to do? Or was there one?
Well, when you're an actor, you look at a three-dimensional character as not a challenge but a joy. So the more three-dimensional they wrote the character, and especially with Nightwing, he got to be very three-dimensional. He really came into his own as a person, his own person. I wouldn't say I looked at it as a challenge, but I looked at it as a joy, a thrill. Oh, here's a great script to jump into, something to really grab onto.
And why do you think this one has stood the test of time? Why do you think this made this show so iconic and so special?
Well, I think the reason people love comic books is because comic books always give you a backstory, and so you understand the motivations for what people do. It's not a two-dimensional thing or a one-dimensional thing. And a lot of cartoons are very one-dimensional. You know, this show, these were people, even the villains. The villains all had a backstory. You understand why they did what they did, and I think it's in the writing.
What was your favorite Robin episode or favorite Batman?
My favorite episodes are Old Wounds, where I got to play Robin and Nightwing. It's where he tells the story to Tim Drake of how he became Nightwing. And Robin's Reckoning, of course, the two-parter, that was really the turning point where the writers and the producers said, oh, let's really do something with this character, you know. And then Sub-Zero, which just came out on Blu-ray. So that was a great one.
Did you ever have any talks about what Dick Grayson was up to during Batman Beyond, since whenever they saw you in that?
I have no answers for that. I mean, you know, it's funny. Actors are the last people to know. We're kind of the bottom of the food chain. So the producers and the directors and the executives and the studios, they all get together. They decide what they're going to do, and then all that information eventually trickles down to us. Like with Batman and Harley Quinn, had no idea that was being prepared or in the process of being made, you know, written, etc. And they called me up and said, we're reprising Nightwing. So it was a great surprise and wonderful. So I don't know why. Oh, sorry. I don't know why Dick Grayson disappeared during Batman Beyond.
What would you say the biggest differences between Nightwing and Batman are?
Nightwing, luckily, has a sense of humor and a lighter side. Batman does not have a lighter side. Batman has given into the dark side completely. And I think that was a big source of tension between the two of them. Because Dick was always trying to lighten him up. Come on, lighten up, Batman. Couldn't lighten him up. So when they broke apart and he became his own man, he carried that with him. I'm not going to be like that. And I think we all do that. I'm a parent. You know, you want to take from your own parents and give your kids what you think are all the good stuff and not the bad stuff, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to get rid of all the bad stuff that I had, hopefully, you know, and just do the good stuff.
Were you aware when you were Robin that he in the comics grew up to be Nightwing, and were you anticipating that before you became Nightwing?
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about that or that they were planning it. And I actually, the creative team is here, and I want to ask them that. I want to ask them if, when the show started, if they were going to make that transition, because they never let on to me about that. The first time I heard about that was when Andrea Romano, the director, called me and said, I've got good news and bad news. You're not going to be playing Robin anymore. I was like, now you're going to be playing Nightwing. So I was like, oh, wow. So that was the first I heard of that. Again, like I said, Trickles down to the actor.
She's like, also, you have to grow mullet.
No. I don't watch stuff I'm not in.
Neither do I.
So here's my question. So what have you thought of how other versions of, do you think your version of Robin has like kind of affected other versions of Robin that come out since then?
I've been told that. I've been told by the people who, for example, who create the Nightwing books, that as they're writing the Nightwing books, they hear my voice in their head. So I was the first actor to ever voice Nightwing. So I think I'm the definitive Nightwing in a lot of people's minds and their heads. So that's quite an honor. I really appreciate that. So yes, I think it's been a big influence.
Is there a phrase that you use to like get in character anytime you're
Well,
Nightwing?
we always do, a warm up on the mic. We do a sound check, and so we go down the line, and we usually say something that can't be repeated.
You did Batman the Animated Series, New Batman Adventures, Batman and Harley, and you're doing the concert. I know you can't spoil anything that should be spoiled, but is there any more of you as Nightwing or Robin that we can expect in the future?
Trickle down.
Haven't heard a thing. There was also a episode that Paul Dini wrote that we did for Viewmaster. That was virtual reality. That was 2 years ago, and that had Kevin in it and me and some of the other regulars from the show. So yeah, they do pop up here and there. But the question that everybody asks me at all of the cons is, why aren't they doing new episodes? And I don't know the answer to that, because sometimes, if you want to do something, let's do something new. Okay, but if you have something that works already, why wouldn't you want to continue doing that?
And reboots are hot right now.
Reboots are
everything.
hot.
Why wouldn't it?
I don't know. Maybe this Comic-Con and the release of the Blu-ray, maybe it will inspire somebody, and then that information will trickle down to me.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful. Thank you
very much.
Thanks very much, guys.